Hey, what's up, folks? It's Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, the channel that always has your back and tells it like it is. Well, you know it's a Friday when I've got my Jasmy weekly update and recap. So we got a lot to cover in this video. There was a bunch of different things that happened going on from Sagan Tosu, the fan token. We had centralized exchange listings. We had a bunch of discussion with Jasmy Foundation in particular. Some of the metaverse talk. I'm going to be talking about ownership. Who is the owner of Jasmy? We're going to try and answer that in today's video. I don't know if we'll ever fully get a clear answer on this until they want to come out of the shadows, but that's a very interesting point that we're going to cover in today's video. So stick around for that, and then I'm going to have some final thoughts to sum it all up at the end, bring it all on home for you, okay? So if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit the like button. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure to subscribe, and if you click the bell, you'll be made aware whenever I post time-sensitive content just like this. And now, let's get it going. All right, what's up, everybody? Good to be with you on this Friday. Hope you all are doing well out there in this crazy financial market, crazy times that we live in. Wanted to kick this video off right here at my Twitter feed with some different things that have happened with Jasmy throughout this week, and this weekly recap was kind of an interesting one due to a few different reasons, so we'll cover that momentarily. But first of all, the big thing that happened was we had the Sagan Tosu match on July 2nd. Unfortunately, they did not win that match, but they did give out a significant amount of jerseys that have Jasmy all over them. And what was even crazier was that they opened up the personal data locker fan token, essentially for those who were going out to that match. So let me show you what that looks like. So they actually shared the link to it. They have a whole site. I want to show everybody kind of where that's at. Here we go. So here it is right here. So, and this is translated to English, so there may be a few things that, you know, Google gets kind of wrong here. But anyways, Sagan Tosu fan token pre-registration. So let's support Sagan Tosu get well together, right? So kind of goes into, you know, what's the fan token, the cost, the rights content, release date. We even had one of the players here talking about it on YouTube, so I thought that was pretty awesome. Now, what you got here, so this is pretty cool. They actually show some screenshots of what it looks like, and you can see down here it says DD, right? So DD coin, right? So the way I see this essentially is these are basically just membership levels, is what this is in terms of you know, membership from least exclusive to more exclusive is basically what's going on here. So they've got some fees here for the first year only, 10,000 yen, renewal fee from next year, 5,000 yen, etc. Rights content kind of gives you an idea of what's in here. Unfortunately, you can't blow up these pictures any further. I really wish you could, because I would love to see more detail in that. But overall, it looks pretty neat, right? So release date, pre-registration. It mentions here September 1st is the main date here. Sagan Tosu fan token advance information acquisition registration starts from July 2nd, Saturday. Okay. Then they actually have a pre-registration button. So this is pretty cool. So if you click on the button, it takes you over to this page right here. It says Jasmy Personal Data Locker, the PDL. So there it is right there. So you would put in your email address, and then they send you a link to register. So I went ahead and did that. Here's the email that they then send you, the Jasmy Personal Data Locker. This is what it looks like. And obviously, here's the register link. If you then followed that, it would take you over to this page right here to register for the Personal Data Locker. Now, I know there's been quite a few people in the community that I think have tried this. And this is a 100% for Japan only. Okay, so unfortunately, the rest of us, if you are not in Japan, really cannot sign up for this yet. It kind of looks like you could up until you get to the bottom, where it says the prefectures, municipalities, town area, and what I think this word CHOM. I'm not sure what that word is. Street number, building name, room number, etc. But the main thing here is in the mandatory address, the postcode. It is a 7-digit code. So this is not something that works if you're here in the US or elsewhere, as far as I know. So By all accounts, it looks like this is only for users in Japan thus far. But what's neat about it is that this is essentially what it looks like to sign up for a personal data locker and to then get in with that fan token. So pretty cool, right? Anyhow, going back now. So I wanted to scroll up a little bit from here. I've got all kinds of things in my feed this past week. Obviously, you know, we had the July 4th holiday. Happy Independence Day to everybody out there. Figured I'd share this. I don't know if you all follow this guy, this Dr. Parik Patel, but he is like a comedian. I mean, this guy, endless jokes, right? So this is kind of worth a share. I like to share jokes on this channel. So he says it's July 4th weekend, meaning the dads everywhere with otherwise zero cooking experience can take it upon themselves to grill dry pieces of meat for the rest of the family. And that kind of sums it up. I think the last time I grilled burgers a few days ago, I actually burned them because they had, you know, bacon and cheese and whatever in it. I step away for a minute before I know it's like a grease fire, and then I got hockey pucks. So great. Spot on. Pretty funny. Here are a couple screenshots of basically what it looked like with all those different jerseys that they had out there, the Jasmy logos all over them. They are super cool. I have not checked eBay yet to see if anybody's reselling them, but I wouldn't doubt it if they start turning up. So keep an eye on eBay if you want to pick up one of those jerseys. We also had this post here from Brian. So mentioning love the progress. This one again had a lot on the personal data locker pre-registration campaign. He was using the Google Lens on here. We got Jasmy, Tokyo Token, the various jerseys, QR code, etc. It's all in there, so that's pretty cool. Regarding central exchange listings, so we actually had two of them. So the big one here is Huobi Japan. Why this is extremely important is that it is our second Japanese listing. So if we get just one more, then we are greenlisted and we can be listed on all exchanges in Japan across the board. So that's why this is critical. So really, we just need one more now, and we're good to go across on Japan. So that was a really big deal, the Huobi listing. Also, it seems to have corresponded with some additional volume in Jasmy, a little bit of an uptick. We got a little bit of a run right now on the chart. I'll be showing that in a few minutes on what that looks like. Okay. Yeah, this video was really funny, by the way. If anybody wants to find this, some of this stuff I find on Reddit, I mean, these guys are just hilarious, right? Moving forward, so this was really interesting, the Jasmy Foundation. So for anybody who's new to Jasmy, or even if you've been following this for a while, one of my constant critiques, one of the things I don't like, is that I feel like we get inconsistent messaging on a regular basis, right? And part of this has to do with the fact that there is no marketing manager person role at Jasmy. And because of that, our main megaphone of the company seems to be Hara, the CFO. Well, how many other companies is the CFO also the media person? Not many. I mean, maybe this is a thing in Japan. I don't know. You know, maybe that's taken out of context. But anyways, when you go to CT, so Twitter, crypto Twitter, when you're on Twitter, there are numerous different Jasmy accounts. Some official, some not. Some sort of official. It sends a mixed message, right? We're not consistent in our messaging. So we've got the Jasmy management account. That's supposed to be the official one. We've got Jasmy Leagues. Supposedly that's with them also. We've got Hara. We have this Jasmy Foundation, which people thought was connected to the project, is connected to the project, but we need more info, right? And so the Jasmy Foundation basically did a set of tweets here that have all been pretty bullish, all about some metaverse projects that are coming out and why this is very bullish for Jasmy in particular. And I'm going to scroll up a little bit because where this got confusing was that Hara posted this tweet immediately following saying Jasmy is not involved in directing anonymous groups to the Telegram account. Okay, the Telegram account. So what does that look like? So if we scroll over here, this is the Jasmy Foundation page. This is the link in particular that he was talking about that apparently sends you over to the Telegram account because you can see the little paper airplane in the middle of it, right? So he's saying that this is not the official team. However, here's where it gets interesting. So Hara has said in the past that the Jasmy Foundation is managed by their, quote, owner. Okay. Who's the owner? That's the question, right? Who is the owner of Jasmy? We honestly do not know. And what's very interesting, so Brian Russell, big shout out to you, is his research skills are like second to none on this. And he managed to find the Japanese laws that essentially started in 2018 saying they needed to disclose who the owner was of, of a business, basically. Prior to 2018, they did not. When was Jasmy founded? 2016. Okay. I have seen it on Reddit where Lil Bidman has said that potentially VAIO is where this came from, right? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. It's really hard to say. And so it kind of creates inconsistent messaging when on the one hand we have Hara sort of as the main media person, and then we have these other accounts that are also supposed to be Jasmy but aren't Jasmy, right? And so that's what we have here with the Jasmy Foundation. So apparently they are in somewhat Jasmy. I mean, they're using the Jasmy logo, right? So that's interesting. And it seems like it's the real deal from whoever the owner of Jasmy is, but it's not necessarily Jasmy themselves. Okay. So I want to go back here to my feed, and we'll talk more about that probably in the final thoughts. But it's just a unique wrinkle to this project, and this project we've got a translation barrier, right? So this whole project is Japanese based; it's firmly in Japan. For those of us who do not speak Japanese, who speak English or are located elsewhere around the world, we get this translation problem. It's like the telephone game, right? Not everything comes through clearly. And when you take things out of context, I don't necessarily know all of the rules and laws of Japan. And that's something that Brian pointed out in one of our group chats also, that you have to look at the context of the way the Jasmy project has moved throughout the years and align that with the way the Japanese government has shifted towards Society 5.0, Web3, IoT, Metaverse, etc. Right? And all of it does kind of end up lining up. So it's really interesting. And so ultimately, you really have to ask yourself here, who is the owner, right? And I'll show you a post I did a little later in the week here in a second that kind of tackles that a little also, right? Now, I did want to share this. So on July 4th, I did this tweet. And I did this tweet because I saw this exact question come out on Reddit. And I've seen it quite a few times that I don't really think people understand this. And this is my understanding of it. Okay. This is not from the team. And for anybody watching this video, you always get these people that say, oh, are you paid by Jasmy? No, I'm not. I'm not paid by Jasmy. I don't know a single one of them. I would love to interview like Hara or somebody like that. That would be interesting. Or even Ken Miura. Love to interview him. Okay, so maybe that can happen in the future. But I am not paid by the team. I don't get paid a dime on this one. Why do I talk about it all the time? Had that tweet come up too. Why are you always talking about Jasmy? Well, I'm talking about it because I think it's a really good idea. Okay. Just like all the sharks in the English Shark Tank thought it was a really good idea, I also think it's a really good idea. If they can execute it, I think this could be a really, really good project down the road. If you think about your crypto portfolio in a 10-year plan, could this be here 10 years from now? It could. It really could. With all of the insolvency, liquidity, all these problems swirling around the crypto market, really Jasmy doesn't have any of that stuff. They don't have a huge debt. They don't owe anybody anywhere. They're simply just building the technology and rolling it out and trying to popularize it, right? They're trying to get it out there. And I think the way that they're trying to build it is first and foremost Japan, and they're targeting sports. They're targeting Sagan Tosu, and they're targeting the stadium that's getting built. I think if they can prove the business model at that point in time, then they could expand it to other teams, other sporting leagues, etc. Then they also have Secure PC, Secure Guardian, which we'll talk about in a minute too, because there's an event going on today in particular with it, right? So they got all these things in the works, and if they can make it happen, this could be a really, really good project. Now, the reason why, so we've got all of us investors who buy this through cryptocurrency exchanges, fine. But then you also have all the different utility reasons for this token. There is a lot of utility here. So with all of that utility, it is essential to have the token to run the ecosystem. So theoretically, this thing, as time goes on, should have significant value. That's why everybody's talking about it. That's why, as I refer to it as Mount Jasmy, keeps getting larger and larger in terms of everybody who's buying this one and holding it, because you buy it, you hold it, it's a long-term hold. If anything that the current crypto market has showed us is it's exposed mismanagement first and foremost. It's exposed who is over leveraged, right? That is the underlying theme here in today's cryptocurrency market. And let me say also that I'm going to write. I've decided I'm going to write a manifesto on how to fix this whole problem, because I'm sick of reading about it, and I really don't think it's that hard. And I think if we get enough power players in the crypto industry together on this thing, I think this is easily fixable. But because we don't have certain frameworks set up today, it's sort of the Wild West, and it's turned into a real, a term for it is shit show. Okay, it really has, in terms of mismanagement, and I'm tired of the mismanagement. So I am going to write that. I am going to post that blog. So keep an eye out for that. I'll update everybody later on that. All right, that'll be my Jerry Maguire moment for crypto. So we'll see what happens of it. Anyhow, so how the Jasmy blockchain works. So I posted this because I don't think people understand this. And essentially, Jasmy is partnered with Centrality. We all are aware of that now, or at least we should be. Or if you're new to this, that's how it works. They have a partner to create the consortium / Jasmy blockchain, a layer 2 solution on Ethereum similar to Polygon. It increases scalability to 1,000 transactions per second. It lowers fees, makes the idea of Jasmy possible. There it is. That's it. That's how this whole thing works. Okay. All right, moving up. We had a promotion here that was listed in the Bit Times. This is in regards to the Huobi listing with Jasmy. Over there, they only have 3 characters, so it's JMY. It's not the full JASMY. It's just JMY. But that's what that post was. We got this one from one of my friends here, from Simon Greco, right? So shout out to you, man. I know I've seen you on here forever. Reposted this, thought this was a great post. Basically just a screenshot from the Jasmy Global website showing that we continue to increase in HODLers. Thought that was absolutely awesome. Scammers. So here we go on the scammer front. So Blake posted this. So this scam video came out that apparently was pretty well done. This Jasmy coin staking scam, 718%, right? And the whole idea was that you needed to go to Bakery Swap, and then somehow you stake your Jasmy and make all these returns. That's a scam. That's somebody trying to rip you off. So the scammers have really kind of amped up lately. And it's worth mentioning that if you are going to be an investor in cryptocurrency across the board, if there is ever a promotion, it will come from the official team. If it is announced by anyone else prior to the official team, then it is most likely a scam. Okay? You have to be extremely careful. So under no circumstance do you ever want to click a link. Do you ever want to connect your wallet? Do you ever want to go to these, these quote liquidity pools through some of these various protocols that promise returns that are basically unheard of? That is a scam. Okay. I actually just heard an interview just the other day with CZ at Binance, where he was talking about how high returns are not sustainable. So how projects can do really high returns to kind of bootstrap it at the very beginning by selling their own token with a high return. That is possible. Over time, that number has to drop because it is not sustainable. So when you see something that comes along like this, that says 718%, they are absolutely 100% trying to steal your Jasmy. Okay. So do not follow it. Do not click it. And that was I think a YouTube video that did that one. All right. All right, so we've got another listing here with WhiteBit. So this was our other centralized exchange listing. Those will keep on happening. In the latest roadmap update, they said 50 plus Q2, 60 plus Q3, 70 plus Q4. So expect to see those to keep on going. On the scammer front, I posted this, so just wanted to shout this out to the masses because I know quite a few of you watch these YouTube videos, and I'm grateful for that. Hopefully you're learning. In my comments in particular, there are scammers everywhere. The main scams that I see are these ones that say, oh yeah, I trusted Bob with Bitcoin. It's a paragraph, and then there's like 25 people that responded with 100 likes afterwards on how great Bob is. That's a scam. Then you've got the WhatsApp scammers that are in there. They scam my profile. They scam other profiles. Hey, how's it going? Yeah, reach out to me here. Nope, don't do that. Then we've also got the scammers that like to pretend they're support. Hey, I'm Trust Wallet support. Yeah, click the link and tell me what's going on. No, don't do that. Okay. So I mentioned here that I just deleted, blocked, and hid a slew of scammers and bots from my YouTube comments. And it was kind of like mopping the floor of a public bathroom. So anyway, cleared them out. Great. All right, moving forward. Let's see here. Ooh, this was good. So with the Jasmy Foundation, one of the things that they released was this Red Metaverse project, right? And what was interesting that Brian was able to find was this Red Token white paper. Apparently, this gentleman here, Takeshi Kitamura, is involved in it. Now, his background in particular was from KPMG, just like Hara. That's where Hara came from. Hara is the only guy that didn't come from Sony. He came from KPMG. And so look at this. So he's involved in that. And it says here, Tokyo Token. So this is one of Hara's coworkers through his various projects is involved in this red token. So that's really interesting. So again, going back to, we don't know who the Jasmy owner is. They're anonymous. Why are they anonymous? Well, we'll tackle that in a minute. But here's somebody who works with Hara at KPMG, works with Hara on Tokyo Token, is now involved in Red Token, but Hara says, yeah, but this is not Jasmy. So interesting. The plot thickens, right? There's never a shortage of things to try and figure out on Jasmy due to all of the inconsistent messaging as well as the language barrier, right? There is never a shortage. And that's another reason why I do videos on this all the time, because it is hard to figure this stuff out. I mean, our teams that we've got working on this, all of us have spent hours and hours and hours researching this stuff. And so you learn a lot from the various people because it's hard to really catch everything and to do it all on your own. And so, you know, that's kind of another reason why I'm always talking about this thing. There's never a shortage, right? Now, Hara did mention here, staking services have been implemented at Binance and Gate. Okay, so that's great and all. Essentially, all that is that those platforms are big enough to offer staking, right? That's what's happened. But what you're not doing is staking on a mainnet. You're not putting your Jasmy coins into the Jasmy wallet and then working through their metaverse to stake and earn rewards. You're not doing any of those things. You're simply just staking it by holding it on that centralized exchange through their own little interface that's built on that exchange. That is not Jasmy's interface, okay? So basically what I'm saying is there are some staking opportunities, but that is not like staking it on a mainnet, okay? Moving forward. This one here from Hara, I had retweeted this on Sagan Tosu, and I think I had a couple links here. So let me see here. Yeah, so here's where I translated it. So fan token pre-registration will have signed uniform for pre-registered persons scheduled by September 1st. So that's the date here. Moving forward, this one was the actual Sagan Tosu translated. So pre-registration, fan token. And this says here, September 1st, 10 people who answered the questionnaire will win the autographed commemorative uniform. That's really cool, I got to admit. I kind of wish I could get one of those. Really cool. Okay. Moving up a little further. So I posted this post. So from the Jasmy.io, here's another page, right? So again, going back to the inconsistent messaging, we also have numerous websites. We've got the official Japan site. We've got Jasmy.global. Here's Jasmy.io, right? And on this one, it in particular referenced the ICO FUD. So why I posted this was simply because I'm tired of hearing about the ICO FUD. And what they did here, it's basically an AMA where they responded to those ICO related questions saying it has absolutely nothing to do with us. That's why I posted it. Okay. Now, the second one, it's a little bit outdated because it says, that they don't have exchange listings yet in Japan, which now, of course, they do. So it's a little outdated, but the point and the gist of it was that they were not involved in any type of ICO scam whatsoever. Okay. Okay. So moving on up, all the way up top here. This is the last main thing from my feed. Basically, Jasmy US, big shout out to him. Follow him if you're not already. He's been leading up the weekly calls we've been doing an excellent job as a moderator. He shares a lot of really good information, great perspective. Give him a follow. So Jasmy US here, basically it says Sony BizNet Networks and Jasmy will be presenting a seminar on July 8th. That is today. Jasmy times Akashi, use in telework, how to use PC secure management system, attendance management system. And again, what's interesting here is that this is a Sony BizNet Networks company, Akashi. Okay. So again, it all goes back to Sony. So this is another company who is basically Sony, who's working with Jasmy. Okay. So if you were to click that link, it takes you over here. It says online Jasmy times Akashi, use in telework, how to use PC secure management system, attendance management system. And that's what it was. So it was a call. They had a pre-registration. And what does Akashi offer? Well, they offer online individual consultation where you consult with sales staff individually on the online screen. Sales staff will explain service materials and demos of the Akashi management screen on the online screen. Okay, great. So we've got Akashi, and then we also have Jasmy working together in partnership here. So that was very bullish. This is another one of those Sony by Jasmy threads that came out. Okay. So very bullish on that front. Now, we also had, let me see here, 50 weeks IR. What was this? This was Hara. I think I already shared that also. Okay. So I had one other post, and let me see if I can find it. I might have passed it. In particular, where I was talking about the ownership of Jasmy. Just deleted, blocked, blah, blah, blah. Voyager, blah, blah, blah. How will you be remembered? That's kind of funny. How Jasmy blockchain works, and it's not in here for some reason. So anyways, what I posted was I posted a picture. You can see it up here in the top right corner. This is Hara's Jasmy Clubhouse NFT. Okay. Now, this particular NFT, let me click on it. We'll see if I can get it to load here. I know the computer sometimes gets a little slow here. But here we go. So this is Hara's NFT, right? He is holding a laptop that says VAIO. It clearly has the VAIO logo in it, okay? Now, Lil Bidman over at Reddit has shared in his research that Sony still owns the patent and trademarks for VAIO. Now, we also have this Japan Partners, and I don't know if I still have it up. Yes, I do. Let me show you this. So this right here, Japan Industrial Partners, this particular investment group owns 95% of VAIO. Okay. Now Sony owns the other 5%. Okay. So when you think about it, how exactly does Jasmy, who is a blockchain supposedly independent project, how exactly do they create an NFT with the the VAIO laptop and logo in it that's owned by this Japan Industrial Partners as well as Sony? How do they do that? how exactly does that partnership work? And then what I hinted at afterwards was I said, okay, so if we know all of that and Jasmy's owner is anonymous, who's the owner? Okay. Who is the owner here? How are they even anonymous? You know, like here in the US, we have all these disclosure laws, right? You cannot just be anonymous. Like I can't file an LLC and be, Mr. X files his LLC. I can't do that. You have to say who you actually are. You have to provide an address, all these things. And so it's just kind of, this is difference between countries that somehow they are anonymous. So why? You got to ask yourself why. Why are they anonymous? Why is the Jasmy owner anonymous? Are they anonymous because it's a big company, combination of companies, and this is like a test run into a gray area? And if it takes off, great, they'll claim credit for it down the road. And if it fails, no sweat, right? They never had anything to do with it. Maybe that could be. Or is it a person? Is it Kunitake Ando? Is he the owner? If he was the owner, then it's kind of weird, the stuff that's coming out from Jasmy Foundation. So I really kind of feel like it's no one in the Jasmy team that's the owner. It seems like it's somebody else. Because for Hara to say that, well, that's not officially from Jasmy, but it is our owner. Well, who's the owner? Is it the Japan Industrial Partners? Is it SBI Group? Is it Remix Point? Is it a mix of all of the above? I don't know. One of the questions I've asked early on with Jasmy is who bankrolled it off the ground from day one. Yes, I know they've gotten funding in 2021. I know that. But I'm going back 5 years prior, all the way to 2016. So who bankrolled it off the ground? Who is the owner? And I feel like this little NFT here is almost like, this is like one of these breadcrumbs that if you look at it and you go, okay, so we've clearly got the Jasmy logo. We've clearly got the VAIO logo. Well, VAIO is owned by this Japan Industrial Partners who has numerous businesses under their umbrella. VAIO is also owned by Sony. So we've got Sony, we've got Japan Industrial Partners, and we've got Jasmy, technically, all in one image here. How does that happen? How can Jasmy use their logo? How? How? These are the things I wonder, right? And so that's what really gets me thinking that who this owner is. It's interesting that Hara will not disclose it. We've asked the question on Discord. They will not disclose it. The owner is firmly anonymous. Interesting. Okay. So, and maybe part of that has to do with the various relationships. Again, going back to Brian and sort of putting this in context, the relationships and the laws with the Japanese government and the roles that Sony plays, that VAIO plays, that they play in various boards. Kunitake Ando, he's part of I think he's like the chairman of the Nagano University. I mean, he's all over the place. He's involved in boards everywhere. Maybe that's why it's anonymous. It could be. I am not really sure. And again, coming from the US and coming from like a stock view of, trading, let's say, here in the US, all this stuff has to be disclosed. At the time that Jasmy was founded, it did not. At 2018, now it does. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know what to think of the overlap with the Jasmy Foundation and the metaverse. I don't know what to think yet. So again, to be determined. But this is why they need more consistent messaging. Okay. And is it acceptable to have an anonymous owner? Ultimately, my view is full transparency all the time. And that's kind of what's going to be in that manifesto once I publish that. So I personally would rather know who the owner is or owners as opposed to keeping it a secret. But again, this might just be a difference between us and Japan. And so maybe we can push for more transparency there. All right. Okay, moving forward. So I wanted to show you the Jasmy chart in particular from TradingView and kind of give you all an update on what I'm seeing here in the chart. So we've been trending down for quite a while. And, I still get these bear post commenters every once in a while that say, yeah, we went from, $5 to 1 cent. Well, and there's never any context with it. Well, the reason we went down is all because of the various exchange listings providing liquidity, et cetera, et cetera. You name it. The whole market went down. And, the stock market itself lost $8.5 trillion. So it's not just crypto. There, great. Got that out. Done. So now looking at the chart here, I've been tracking this. Basically, the 0.008 level is sort of our bottom. And we bounced off of that a couple of times. We went down, we got into this downward channel, but then we sort of have hit a upward channel. So what happened just the other day was Jasmy broke out of this triangle here just a little bit up, just barely, right? Now, are we going full bull from here? To be determined, right? I've seen a lot of posts where people say, oh, it's going to $15, it's going to 50 cents like next week. I doubt it. Okay, I doubt it. But I hope it does because I'm an investor. I really do. I hope it does. What I look at when I see this, to give you my perspective. So I've got the Fibonacci on here. I've got some trend lines. These are the volume bars. I've got the stock RSI. And then down here below, I have a market cipher B. Okay. So first of all, and I have the EMAs. So the EMAs, this is the 200-day EMA right here, this dark blue line at the very top. In order for this to switch fully bullish, this line way up here, along with the green line, that's the 50-day, and the 20-day, the red line down here, need to swap bullish. We got a little ways to go before that's going to happen. Okay, we've still got quite a gap here between those. So could we trend up from here? Absolutely. But are we going to pass the 200-day moving average? Unless we get some sort of really good economic or geopolitical news, then no, we're not going to. Okay. But if we do get some good news here and there, could we still have a rebound this cycle? Yes, I've said that all along. And, I kept hoping it was going to be this year, and we just keep getting this bearish news, this inflation news, drags everything down. You name it. So maybe my view now is that maybe in the springtime of 2023, we have a good rebound in the crypto market before it bottoms out again, going into the next cycle and halving of Bitcoin, right? So in the meantime, though, this is good. We are trending up. But what it also means is that if you're doing your DCA and you're stacking, our window may be closing here soon, especially as we continue to follow this trend line up. So just keep that in the back of your mind. Now, I never advocate for large buys, nothing like that. Always small buys, but this is how I see it. Now, what's interesting is that even with this breakout, look at this. We only broke out on just a little green volume bar. This was nowhere near like what we had before back here or back up here. So we broke out on not very much volume overall. But again, what's been very positive is we continue to add people hodling the coin, right? So that's really good. And I'll show you those numbers in a second. Now, looking at the RSI, right now we are in the overbought territory. So what I kind of think is going to happen is I think this could trend down a little bit, kind of ride in this triangle a little bit more, and then start bumping up again, maybe somewhere around here, let's say July 14th, right? So maybe, let's say a week from now. So I think it could go a little bit down from here, and then it could bump up again, all right? Now, what's really positive in my view is down here in the market cipher. So what this big red wave here is money outflow, right? And so whenever a project is going bullish, eventually it'll go above baseline here, 0, and it'll turn green. That means money inflow, right? So that's really what we're looking for. We want to see some money inflow. And we've had money outflow on Jasmy for quite a while now, right? I mean, we've been below baseline for months and months and months, basically this whole year. So we are kind of on the verge right now of potentially going above baseline into that green territory. So that's really awesome. Now, something else that's indicative here in this chart is we've got these two blue waves here. And this one is what CryptoFace, who invented the whole market cipher B, would refer to as a trigger wave. So basically, this is indicative of an upward pattern, okay? And we've got a green dot here signaling that. It looks like we're trying to go above baseline. And so we'll see what happens here. But overall, the chart has been looking absolutely great. I'm pleased with it turning around. Even when the rest of the market just seems to go down, Jasmy's going up. And I think it's a sign of all of the people that are really discovering this cryptocurrency and saying, hey, you know, this is a good opportunity. I mean, this is solid. It really, it's an idea. It's a beta idea, but it's starting to come out of that. The Sagan Tosu fan token sign up means that we are coming out of a beta test. And in my view, with, you know, a background in kind of corporate America, is that is critical, because if they can prove how well their system works with Sagan Tosu, then they can sell it. Okay. And who can they sell it to? They can sell it to all those other Japanese baseball teams, the other football teams, all the Japanese sports, period. They could sell the fan token to. And they've got the personal data locker with Edge AI with it. So we can get all kinds of amazing insights from this data. And we've got this exclusive membership NFT. So I think that they are really close to coming out of this. And moving into the fourth quarter, that's when DD Coin goes live. That's when the wallet hopefully comes out. And so we've got a lot of really bullish things coming right around the corner here for Jasmy. So that's it on this front. The very last thing I wanted to show you was simply the Etherscan numbers that right now we're at 30,595 hodlers. We continue to go up, super bullish, stoked on that. All right. Now I'm going to sum up this whole video here in a second with some final thoughts, bring it on home, wish you all a fabulous weekend. All right, so now let's sum up today's video in some final thoughts. So first of all, going back to Sagan Tosu, going back to the fan token and those super cool jerseys. Just on the jersey front, they are really cool. I really like them. You know, if you could actually sign up all the way through the personal data locker and get a signed jersey, that would be even cooler, right? So really neat on that front. I really wish those of us around the world could participate in this a little bit more, right? Because I think there is a need. We've got a solid community. We've got many investors here, and we would love to support Jasmy in any way that we can. So hopefully Jasmy starts opening up some of this stuff down the line. I have not checked eBay yet, so I would imagine that some of these jerseys are going to be turning up on eBay, because I want to say they were giving them out in a one-size-fits-all. So they could easily turn up on eBay, or maybe there's bootleg ones. That could happen also. But going back to the fan token, this is critical, because in my view, this is us getting out of beta testing, because now we're actually rolling this out to real people. And we're saying you can sign up from now all the way through September 1st, okay? So they have multiple months to sign up here for the fan token, the various levels of an NFT membership. What's different though is we have the personal data locker. That's what's different. That's what makes this whole thing different. So when you put in your information, they can apply their Edge AI and they can learn insights from it, right? Well, in the meantime, you, depending on your membership tier, get exclusive access to Sagan Tosu. If they can say down the road that this is an extremely good idea, they can show how it's worked well for the team, it's worked well for Jasmy. They can market this thing across Japan. They can market it across Asia. So this is a really big deal that they're getting that out there. Now, what's also going to be critical is down the road, fourth quarter, the wallet, the metaverse, you know, staking, all of these things, DD Coin, all of that is critical fourth quarter. So keep an eye on that. But overall, the Sagan Tosu news was really good. Regarding the Huobi Japan listing, super bullish on that. All we need is one more to hit 3, and we will be greenlisted across Japan. So Japan has some of the strictest cryptocurrency laws there are, and if we can get greenlisted, that's absolutely awesome for our project, okay? And I say our because I'm an investor in it. I am not a paid shiller. I don't get paid anything from the team, though I would like to potentially interview them at some point in the future. So just throwing that out to the universe. Anyways, moving forward. We also had the other listing, the other centralized exchange. So 2 listings, one of them fairly large. So those were both very bullish pieces of news. When it comes to the Jasmy Foundation, you know, this is one of these things where it kind of makes me think we're all on the same team, but we have different ideas on how to get from point A to point B. And so Jasmy Foundation seems to be operating in a different capacity than Jasmy the team. Jasmy the team is more so focused on Secure PC, Secure Guardian, and the FAN token, whereas Jasmy Foundation appears to be rolling towards metaverse projects, metaverse partnerships. The interesting wrinkle in all of this is that we have on record tweets from Hara saying that the Jasmy Foundation is owned by their owner. So they all have the same owner, theoretically, okay? The owner is anonymous. We don't know who the owner is. We've asked the question. We cannot get any information on who the owner is. In Japan, when they were founded, it was legal to be anonymous, which, looking forward today, I myself would prefer full transparency, especially in cryptocurrency with as shady as it's been lately and all the mismanagement that's been exposed across the board through various cryptocurrency businesses. I would like more transparency here. So, in my critiques, people wonder this, well, all you do is shill Jasmy. No, I've got some critiques also. One of them I've been saying for a long time now, that they have inconsistent messaging. They need more consistent messaging. This is why you need like a marketing manager role, okay? I can't think of any other company where the CFO is also the media manager. That doesn't really happen, okay? So that's a unique wrinkle here. We also have the language barrier, the translation issues. It's like the telephone game sometimes, right? We need an English speaker to translate. Somebody almost like a Ken Miura, right? He would be great here for all of us English speakers to kind of translate what's happening with the team. We really need an update on what is going on with him. I'm curious, right? Because he was really involved in the NFT Tokyo angle, and I would like to see where he's at currently, a status update on Ken Miura. That would be a really good one, or just an AMA with him would be excellent, okay? So throwing that out there. Now, my other critique outside of the inconsistent messaging is, how do you have an anonymous owner? And normally this would drive me crazy, and I would probably say run to the hills, dump this project. But the reason I don't say that here is because of all of these corporate ties to Sony, to VAIO, the Japan Industrial Partners, SBI Group, Remix Point, BitPoint. We've got considerable corporate ties. We also have various members of the Jasmy team tied to Sony, tied to KPMG. Mr. Morita is still apparently working with the Sony Computer Lab, the guy that invented the Felicia chip, aka Secure Guardian, Secure Knowledge Communicator, right? So he is still, he almost plays both sides. So he's on both of them, right? We got Kunitake Ando, who was CEO from roughly 2000 to 2005 with Sony, okay? So if there wasn't all of that in the background here, then that would make me really nervous that the owner is anonymous. But why I'm not nervous is because of all that is in the background here. There's so many corporate ties, and we talk about this on our weekly phone calls all the time, which, by the way, we've been doing Sundays at 5:30 Eastern Time US. So shout out there, that's a plug. Jasmy US usually hosts. Check those out if you get the chance. It's just a little frustrating for me not to know, but I understand, and I think the reason why comes down to timing. I think it comes down to Japanese laws. I think it comes down to the Japanese government and the role they're playing in Society 5.0, Web3, IoT, Metaverse, all this stuff that they're really pushing. They want to be a world leader. They're trying to get their footing. I've also seen some various posts saying that we don't want to share everything, essentially. And so I think all of that stuff, when you put it in context, plays into the owner being anonymous. What's interesting, again, though, going back to the Jasmy Foundation, is that Jasmy, the project, is sort of focused one way, and Jasmy, the foundation, is sort of focused another way. And that's where I think we could get a lot more consistent in terms of how many accounts are official and who are they, how many websites are official and who are they. These are kind of some things that we need to iron out that sort of drive me crazy with some of the things of what's going on in this project. Now, my various posts that I put out there, that is just from all my research, my understanding of it, the way I am comprehending it. Hopefully it's right, okay? I am not paid by anybody. You know, my view on centrality in the blockchain, that's how I see this whole thing working, okay? So ultimately, overall, this past week, because of the Sagan Tosu fan token, the rollout, all that, I think it's very bullish. We also had a very bullish chart. We had a very bullish listing with Huobi Japan. The frustrating things I just told you about with the anonymous owner and with the inconsistent messaging. So we could clean that up, definitely. That's easily something that you could clean up, okay? In terms of circulating supply, I really didn't cover that because I am a firm believer in letting the people who excel in other areas take that on. So if you don't follow Dip Metaverse, definitely follow him. He said, and I'm going to put it in this video, that if Jasmy goes big, let me rephrase that. When Jasmy goes big, he's going to be like Kim.com and rename himself officially Dip Metaverse. So holding you to it, man. But anyway, he's got the really good Excel sheet that tracks all of the movements of the coins, and that is the most accurate tracking mechanism I've seen to date. So by all means, if you want to know where we're at in the actual circulating supply, check that out. He is got the most accurate sheet. Okay, so that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to hit the like button. Don't forget to join our call on Sunday. Don't forget that I'm also on Twitter at KIR Finance, where you can find me tweeting, retweeting, all kinds of stuff on a regular basis, jokes, you name it, I got it. And lastly, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always says, "You're back." Tells it like it is, because that's what I do. I tell it like it is. I've always been a very direct person. And quite frankly, I kind of have my own altruistic reasons on why I do things the way I do. I'm not paid, I'm not shilled. I make less than $200 from YouTube a month, okay? So just so you know, I kind of make these videos because this is a passion of mine, and I like good ideas, and I like opportunities, and I'm tired of seeing people fail and sort of be mired in debt for the rest of their lives, okay? That's why I do it. So that being said, this is Jesse with Keeping It Real Finance, channel that always, "You're back," tells it like it is, and I will see you on the next one.